So moved.
With the numbers across the bottom.
So we're here with Art Lennig of Murphy Business and Financial Corporation. He's going to talk to us about buying and selling a business. And Art, what we usually do is give our interview guests a few minutes just to kind of give us an overview of what you do. And then we'll have some questions and we'll have an informal discussion after that.
Okay. So you want me to tell you what I do? What I do, I wear a multitude of different hats. Murphy Business Financial Corporation is a business brokerage firm, and our main goal, our main thrust is helping people either sell their business or buy a business. And as David said, it could be somebody who owns a business that wants to grow by acquisition. We will help them find a business. Or it could be somebody who's been in the corporate world for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. The longer they're in the corporate world, the more downsizing they've gone through. A lot of people end up getting just really bummed out with every 3 to 5 years being downsized due to no effort on their part, just the economy or whatever. They're downsized, so they want to take control of their life and they want to buy a business. They want to become an entrepreneur. Take the bull by the horns, basically, and try to control their life as best they can. So we help them find a business. And we try to do that by working with the buyer to find out what the buyer's interests are, what turns them on, what kind of money they need to live on, what kind of money they have in the bank, because that determines the type of or size of business that they can buy. So we try to work with the buyer as best we can to put them into the correct or the right business versus just a business. Our goal is not to do the transaction as quickly as possible just to sell you a business. We want to make sure that you buy the right business for your skill set so that you can succeed. Because it's a jungle out there. And you've got to, as a buyer, and again, whether you're a business acquiring and growing by acquisition, or if you're a buyer just going out first time buying a business, you've got to do your due diligence throughout the process. And I kind of snickered a little bit when you showed the one slide up there, paralysis by analysis. And that's, we show people when we're working with a buyer, we show them a maze, and because we think the buying process is a maze. And our goal is to help them get through that maze and around the hurdles and obstacles that jump up in front of you. And one of those hurdles and obstacles is paralysis by analysis. And I've worked with buyers, one in particular, and I asked him, how long have you been looking for a business? And he said a year. And well, if you've been looking for a year, why haven't you bought a business yet? And he said, well, I tried to buy 2. The first one I got outbid on. Somebody bought it for a higher price than the bid I submitted. And the second one, I took too long studying the financials and all, and I lost out on that one. This guy was so focused that he knew what he wanted. And when we found the right business for him, I mean, it was start to finish like we were done in 2 months, which is phenomenal, because he knew exactly what he wanted. He'd been there before, gone through the financial statements and everything, so he knew what he was looking for. When we went in and talked with the business owner, he knew the questions he wanted to ask. When we got to the due diligence part, he brought in a team to do the due diligence for him so that would not get bogged down. So he just start to finish throughout the process, and he was great to work with. Then you've got the other buyer that shoots from the hip all the time. And you've got to rein them back, because that's the person that, oh man, it looks like a great business, let's put an offer in. And you've got to control that individual so that they don't make a mistake. Buying a business is different than buying a house. You don't want to buy a business on emotions. You want to buy a business on logic. And if you buy a business on emotions, you're going to find problems down the road because you didn't investigate, you didn't do your due diligence on it. So that's what we do, is we help the buyers, and then if we're working with the seller, we do the opposite. We package the business, make it marketable, help the seller get things cleaned up so that it is presentable, because it truly is that first impression from the buyer is how they're gonna see the business. So if they walk into a business and it's filthy dirty, then that's the impression that the buyer has, and the buyer will actually offer a lower price because of the impression they have on the business. Our goal, obviously, is to maximize the value of the business for the seller. So we're gonna do everything we can to present the business in a good light to the buyer, and we're gonna do everything we can to get the seller to do the things that are correct to get the business positioned properly, so that when we bring a buyer in, the buyer sees this beautiful business that's worth a lot of money.